Salut YouTube. Blush, blusher, blushed. Let's get cheeky. This is the tag that we're going to do today. So as you can hear by my herbal accent, I'm French. And today we're going to talk about blush because I have a lot of blush in my, big stash. So of course this tag was created by the YouTuber Elle S. I will link her channel down below. I first saw this tag on Catalina's Vanities channel. Catalina's channel, I love her. I've been watching her for months and months. And well, I also watched Elle's video, of course. And I mean, I've been obsessed with blush lately. So, I mean, of course I wanted to do this tag. It's going to be a long video because we have quite a bit of questions, so maybe grab a drink. Let's get started. Question number 1. Tell us a little bit of your history with blush. Well, I used to think that blush on, black people looked false and ridiculous and almost clownish. Since the first time that I saw it, I was like, what the heck? And I don't know. I think I got my first blush in a BoxyCharm, and I tried it because why not? In a BoxyCharm? No, in a Birchbox. We don't have BoxyCharm in France. And I tried it because I had it and I liked it. It was a few years ago, maybe like 4 to 5 years ago, maybe. And then I've been buying blushes even though I didn't wear them. And since the last 6 months, maybe 8 months, I've been obsessed with blush. And I mean, I like a strong blush. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see my blush today. And I was like, don't put too much on. So that's my history with blush. Question number 2. Thoughts on the cream vs powder debate. Is there really a debate? I mean, for me, cream or powder blush is more of a preference thing. Personally, I layer a powder over a cream because I have a really oily skin. So I pretty much have to put a lot of powder over my cream blush and all over my face, so it's half covered. So I put on top a powder blush. But I mean, I know that, for example, Abby Williamson has dry skin and she hates cream products, and Jackie Aina has a really oily skin and she loves cream products. So question number 3, what do you prefer, satin, shimmer, or matte finish? My first favorite finish is matte because, as I've just said, I have a really oily skin. My cheeks will get glowy in like 2 to 3 hours. So I don't need help with the glow. My second favorite is still satin because I don't know. I like a little bit of glow on my cheeks. Controlled glow. Like a little bit of, well, satin glow. Not glowy, dewy glow. I don't like the dew because I have oily skin again. I also like satin blushes because on the rare time that I don't wear complexion products like base products, but I want to wear blushes or blush, I think it blends better into my complexion because, again, I have oily skin. So if I put a matte powder blush on my cheeks are going to look matte, but the rest of my face is going to be glowy. So I find it strange. And finally, shimmery blushes, I don't need them. I'm sure you can see that I have a really textured skin. I can't do with shimmery blushes. And question number 4, current favorite blushes. Of course, my Wet n Wild blush that I haven't repressed. I know. But We all know that they have been discontinued, especially this shade, because it's this shade in particular that I love. So yeah, then we have my Sephora colorful blush, and I love it in the shade 27 Charmed. Can't see here. I tried to pan this earlier in the year, and as you can see, there's no pan, not even a dip. I feel like when I'm touching it, I can feel the slightest dip, but I think I can't even see it myself. Anyway, I love this blush, especially in spring and summer. And the last one is the it's the Insane Blush by The Balm, and this one is in the color Toile, and it's looking like this. It's a bright coral red blush. It's really tightly packed. I mean, I don't have the slightest bit of like powder kick up, but yeah, I really like this blush. And if you're wondering, yes, I have all of my sleeves. I tend to keep my exterior packaging. I don't know why. Number 5, least favorites / least used blushes. My least favorite blush is another blush from The Balm. It's the Cabana Boy, just because, and still have the sleeve, just because of the color. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it looks pretty pink, almost purple, and on my skin tone, it just looks like a bruise. So this is my least favorite blush, and my least used, I have a lot. My least used, one of them at least, is this blush palette. It's from Sleek. It's the Blush by 3 in the color Pink Spirit. This is also the box, because I mean, it looks so plain like this, and I have 3 of them, so I don't have time to open them to find which color they are. So this is what it's looking like. It looks pretty bright, and it looks pretty pink, which is the reason why I haven't used it, I think. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I haven't used it in years, but I want to use this like Bordeaux color, so I'm keeping it. The other blushes that I haven't used like a lot are my Inglot blushes. These two. This one is from the G-Lo collection with Inglot, and this one is in the permanent line. And the G-Lo one I haven't used at all. It's brand new. It's scratched because I have like protective layers on top of this palette, and the opening is directly over it, so it gets scratched. And I think I used the pink blush maybe once or twice, and I got them like October last year, so that's pretty shameful. But I think it's because they are in a palette that is far away from my other blushes. And finally, the last one is a blush from NYX. It's the Ombre blush, and this one is in the color Insta Flame. As you can see, it's pretty bright pink. I hope you can see that it's bright pink. It looks almost orangey pink on my monitor, but it's a bright pink. And this one I haven't used a lot. I thought for a moment, when I was thinking about this question, I thought that I hadn't used it at all, but I can see scratch marks, so I used it. But I thought that I hadn't used it at all, because this blush allows me to keep my other powders in check in my drawer. It's the perfect like thinness, so I always forget about it. Then number 6, overhyped blushes. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be an unpopular opinion, And Catalina, I'm so sorry, but the Hourglass blushes, these are just marbled powders with a little bit of color. And most importantly, the shade range is, at best, it's poor. I know that they launched a darker shade like in the last month or the last few weeks. I saw it on Kinky Sweat's channel, Alyssa. For me, it just looks like a bruise. I'm sorry, it just looks like a bruise. So for me, they are overhyped. Number 7, underhyped blushes. I don't really know which blushes could be underhyped because mine, they all come from pretty much mainstream brands. So, I don't know, maybe Inglot, I guess. I feel like overall Inglot is underhyped. Like a few years ago, a few good years ago, everyone was talking about Inglot, and now nothing. Anyway, number 8, oldest blushes. This one, I'm not really sure. It could be this one. It's actually the blush that I received in my BoxyCharm. Is the blush from Nika K in the color Romantic. It's discontinued. I went on their website a few days ago and I didn't see it. But maybe again it's my blush by tree. I'm not sure. On the other side, question number 9 is your newest blush. You've seen it in my Black Friday haul. It's the blush from Kiko in the collection. I can't speak. It's the blush from Kiko in the collection Lost in Amalfi. This one is in the color 4 Amaranth Hills. I still don't know how to say it, and it's beautiful, and I still haven't used it. Question number 10, do you prefer individual pans or palettes? I prefer individuals just because I don't have a palette for my skin tone. I mean, a lot of blush palettes are out there, and I think I heard that, I think it's Sydney Grace has a cheek palette for lighter and darker skin tone, but that's it, and the color weren't that rich, at least for my standard. But yeah, I prefer individuals because I mean, in some blush palettes we have darker blushes, but I won't buy a blush palette if I can use like 1 to 2 colors. I want to be able to use every color. So yeah, I'm more of an individual pans just because I can't have a palette. Number 11, most unique blush that you own. Like I said, I only have mainstream blushes, so none. Number 12, do you have any blushes on your wish list? Absolutely. NARS liquid blushes. Ooh, I want them. I've heard about them, I think when they launched a few years ago on Jackie Aina's channel. I almost said she was, but she is still in love with them. But this year, with the Partners in Cream project pan, I mean, Alejandra Lisette panned 4 of them. Elaine from Makeup panned 1, and I want one. But on Sephora, on the French Sephora website, yes, on the French Sephora website, they only have like the color Orgasm for some reason. I was worried for a moment there, and I went on the NARS website. They have all the colors, but that's the only thing that I want. So I don't know if one day I will buy some, maybe not, but it's on my wish list. And also the BH Cosmetic Truff Blush Palette. When they launched earlier this year, the shade range was amazing. I mean, they launched so many like combinations and for every skin tone, so I wanted one. The only reason, wait, I have two reasons why I still haven't bought from them. One, because it's the only thing that I want from BH Cosmetics, so I won't order from a website for one thing. And the other reason is basically because they have a good shade range, so I don't know which one I want, basically. Number 13. Are there any discontinued blushes you wish would come back? Not really. Well, my Wet n Wild Heather Silk, but I know that by the time that I will be done with it, I am going to be so over it, so no. But also I haven't been into blush for that long, so maybe that's why. Number 14, favorite brushes slash tools. I've been influenced, like a lot of us, I think, to buy the e.l.f. small stipple brush. Oh my god, it's tardy. I have two. This one I use with my e.l.f. Lipstick to use it as a cream blush. The one that's not like dirty is the one that I used for my cream contours. I also like another brush from e.l.f. It's the blush brush, and I also have two of them. They are not exactly the same shape. I didn't get them exactly at the same time. Well, not that far apart, but still not exactly the same shape, but I still love them. And finally, this one is a limited edition brush from Kiko. It's actually a bronzer brush, but how? It's so long and it's almost, well, it's a little bit tapered. So to be a bronzer brush, I don't think so. I mean, me and my colleagues, when we saw that brush, we were all like, this is a blush brush. And we sold it like this, and it's so good, it's so soft. I love it. Number 16. Favorite blush trend or placement? Well, I have a pretty much classic placement for me on my cheeks, but not really here on the apples of my cheeks because I have pores and texture. So my blush is pretty high and on the outside of my face. Well, not too much, but just not really in the center of my face. I really like blush draping. Not on me, just because I don't know how to do it, but I really like the look. I mean, Lauren May Beauty, she often do it on her, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. I think also that blush on the nose can be cute. It can be when it's not too strong, but a trend for blush draping, oh yes. Number 17, thoughts on using eyeshadow as blush. Do whatever you want, it's just powder. It can be hard to use because eyeshadows are often way more pigmented than blushes, but I mean, I've used eyeshadows as blushes. Actually, I was planning on using this eyeshadow from Kiko. It's the High Pigment number 62. I was hoping to use this eyeshadow as a replacement for my Wet n Wild blush, but they discontinued it, so I can't. So I mean, whatever. And final question number 18. If you could create a perfect blush, what would it look like? It would look like this. It's in an eyeshadow pan, but it's actually a blush. I've already filmed this video, this tag, well, twice. And the first time that I showed it, it was in my, well, in one of my mom's palettes. And I mean, looks gorgeous. It's like a burnt terracotta, orangey peach, but dark color, and it looks just gorgeous. And in my first video I was like, I think I'm gonna steal it from her, and I totally did. I repressed it in one of my pans that I just emptied. So here, this is the color that I want to create. But if I had the chance to create a blush, I would create a blush palette, because as I said, I think that we don't have, as darker skinned people, we don't have a blush palette available, so I want to make one. I wouldn't be able to say what colors I want in this blush palette, but I think like a 4 or 6 pans palette, that would be great. So that was my blushed tag. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.